What is going on here? Hi guys, I'm doing a little live stream. If anyone's about, you can ask me some questions about Maya and whatnot, and we'll see if we can help you out. Can't get my menu to dock. There we go. So, yep, anyone wants to learn Maya, wants to know anything about 3D animation, wants to learn anything about dynamics, whatever, I just thought I'd give this live streaming malarkey a little go and see if we can't help you out. If you want to learn, how to get into the film industry, how to get into the visual effects industry, how to get into gaming, how to just get into 3D modelling, become like a 3D artist or whatever, then obviously this channel's for you, and you wouldn't be watching this if it weren't for you. So I'm just going to start doing some dynamic stuff, and anyone got any questions, just give me a shout. I've got some work-based stuff that I'm kind of looking at the moment, so I'm just going to crack on with working, and give me a shout if you've got any questions. So the job I'm working on requires a load of mesh to be used, so I'm going to be using mesh, and yeah. I'll do about right. Let's get the pivot point down here. Select bake pivot point I'm looking for. Come on, select. Doesn't matter. Modify, freeze transformations. Let's get mesh network. Mesh network created. I'm just gonna get the mesh editor up. I'm gonna dock this bad boy in here. Let's get the outliner open. Dock this bad boy in here. So I've got a bit of mesh and a dock. Let's get rid of the grid. So yeah, I'm just working, guys, so I'll be live streaming every other day, and obviously while I'm streaming, feel free to ask any questions. Right, let's get a load in here. Close these gaps up. can't see the gaps. Okay. So let's go with, just go with transform node, and I'm going to scale 10. Let's go back to the original cube. Right, so we can see we've got the pivot point at the bottom of the original cube, yet when it scales, it's not scaling from the bottom of the cube. So to fix that, we need to bake the pivot point to where it is, and I can't remember where it is. Edit keys. Modifier. It's in here, I know it is. Bake pivot. Ka-chow. There we go. And now we should be scaling, yeah, from the bottom of the cube. Happy days. Right, so back into the transform node, and I want to create a fall off object. Which isn't working. That's interesting. Why's my fall off object not working? I should literally be changing things. Right, maybe it's because we baked the pivot. Let's just delete that transform node. And this time, I'm going to start with a random node actually. Bosh, bosh, bosh. I'm going to scale it up from here. Just get rid of that. And let's go into the random node and create a fall off for that. Well, that works. I don't know why it wasn't working before. So what I want to be doing is I want to get this plane up here. Corner gang. Let's go into the random node. Let's scale that right up. So I'm trying to build on a city, an abstract kind of city. So let's increase our timeline a bit. And let's get this right back here. What I might do, actually, to break it up a bit, is create a few of these fall off nodes so it doesn't all just come on at once. I want sections to come on. So I'm going to start with that one. Control W there. Going to go forward about 55 frames. Alright, Shift W. Cool, and then we can actually clone this. So we've got a second one here. Just double check it doesn't clone the animation. No, I don't. So I can put that over here. Change the shape a bit. So I want a bit of a valley going on down here. Let's bring that there. Let's Shift W, rewind, and I think Yeah, this one I'm going to make that come on. Like so, Shift W. So now I've got two different fall off objects animating on those cubes. If we've got camera right down here, going to need to increase the height of that randomness a bit. There we go. So camera's going to be down here. Going to start with nothing, and then we're going to have these buildings building on. So I want some to come in from the side. So I'm going to clone this one again and bring it over here, but I want this one to be a bit smaller. Cool, so I'm going to make that a little bit further along the timeline. Shift W there, rewind. I'm probably going to have that start about 10 frames in. Shift W. Okay, and let's clone that one. So the next one I'm going to have over here. Shift W there, rewind, and pull that out. Start that at 10 frames in as well. Alright, so we've got some buildings building on. Let's create a camera. Bring that back here. Let's just move this stuff out of the way for a minute. Get 2 views. Cool, and let's just forward till they're all up and start framing the camera a bit. Right, so they've all animated on by there, so let's go to the beginning of the frame, and I want to see them sort of drawing on. At the beginning of the frame, and then level the camera up. Or I want something more dynamic, and I want to be close around here when they start growing on. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Let's just drag that along a bit so there's a bit more time. Right, that's framed quite well. Let's just expand a landscape. Cool, right, next. Next. Next, we're going to create a bridge. Let's just block that bridge out. Okay. About there. Bring it in a bit. Right, that's blocked out. Quick bridge. Really quick bridge. Right. Extrude that out. Come on. Quick bridge. That'll do. Actually, no, it won't. Okay. Extrude. a bridge, a terrible bridge, which is just going to be used as a hull, or a template for our mesh. So let's create another. Actually, no, let's duplicate the old cube, which is, let's just call this mesh cube city. And it's going to duplicate that, and that's going to be mesh cube bridge. And I'm just going to name that bridge geo. So mesh cube bridge, and we're going to create a new mesh network, like so. I'm just going to call this mesh bridge and rename this mesh underscore city. Distribute. We want mesh, and then we're going to stick in the bridge geo. And I'm just going to hide this bridge. Okay. Back to distribute node. Let's get a whole bunch of them, and then let's do a voxel. Let me just save this. Voxel, we're going to bring the voxel settings down until we've got a more complicated bridge. Okay, so obviously that cube's too big, so we can scale it down as we go. So we've got a mesh cube bridge there, and we're just going to scale that down. Cool, and hopefully the voxels will allow us enough room to add some detail. Note the most it goes to is -100, which is well annoying. Well annoying. FX Maniac, hey there, is there any way to collide custom particle shapes in nParticle? I mean, self-collision with instant geometry as particles. No. You're only going to be able to collide the particles. The instant geometry won't pick up the shape of the geometry. It's really unfortunate, but there is no way of doing it at the moment. I'm hoping in Maya 2020 that'll change, but at the moment you can't do it, dude. There's actually nothing you can do. The only thing you can do is nothing. You can't do it. So sorry that doesn't help you out much. I've tried it myself in the past, like, you know, creating baked beans. I want those to collide correctly as they should, but you're only getting the collisions from the particles. That's all you're ever going to get. So your only other setup is to do some kind of N-mesh setup, where you've just got loads of N-mesh objects kind of like sitting up outside of the camera, and they drop down. It's a bad way of doing things. Potentially though, Mesh could be the way to go. Mesh works with geometry shapes. It might be a bit slow, and Mesh does allow you to emit shapes. Mesh Dynamics I'm talking about. So Mesh Dynamics might be the thing that you should look into. Yeah. No, no worries, man. It's a nightmare. But Mash could be the way. Mash Dynamics. Have a look at doing that. Just start with a bunch of cubes, and change the number of points in the distribute node of Mash. Animate the number of points from frame 0. The number of points should be 0. Keyframe that. Go to like frame 100 and put the number of points to say 100. Keyframe that, and then go into the dynamics. And what you'll get is you'll get geometry spitting out like an emitter, and you may be able to play around with it like that somehow. But for big simulations, it's not going to work. You're going to need to jump over to Houdini or something like that. Right. The annoying thing I'm finding with Mash at the moment is this: you can't get the distribute voxel size down any lower than 0.1, which kind of makes sense obviously because that's just like a 1 unit size, but I can't add more detail to this. So what I'd end up having to do is to scale my sim right up. It's already like fairly big anyway, so that's annoying. Even with more of a voxel count, voxel size just won't go down anymore. And I need it to go down. So, what other solutions have we got? Well, so if I increase the bridge size and decrease the geo, oh no, not the geo, the cube. Still not giving me what I want. So there's the bridge. Make it bigger to fit in with the scale. Maybe a new scale. And then I'm going to get a bridge geo and scale that down. It's not doing what I want it to do. See, what I want is kind of like thousands and thousands of these little cubes to make up the shape of this bridge. I mean, it's doing it to a point here, but it's just not good enough. These are the problems that we find ourselves in, right? On a daily basis. Right, let's think about this. What other way can we distribute this? So, not voxel. We could go with face center. That's not going to work. No. It's got to be a voxel. Right, let's do some testing. So let's switch off this and let's just get the bridge back in view. Did I make a layer for it? Yes, I did. Okay, so let's make this much bigger. See if there's a scale issue. In fact, let's delete this network. And let's use the Mash Cube bridge geo again, and let's just create a new Mash network. Let's freeze the transformations on that. And then Bridge Geo is frozen. Got this, got a new mesh, distribute. Let's go with, what's the volume going to do for me? Nothing. So I've got to go with mesh. Input mesh, Bridge Geo. Then we're going to go with voxel. Switch the bridge off. Go back into distribute node. And we start tugging this down. Whoa. .1. That's better. So we know straight away that if you're planning out your mesh project and you plan to use voxels and sizes, then you need to be looking at your scene scale. It's fine because I haven't got a really complex scene going on. However, I'm going to have to increase the size of my city. Somewhat. Yeah, so it goes right out there, and then these blocks are going to have to be bigger in the first place. And these buildings have to be like that. Then I'm going to have to go into the distribution and play around with the distance. What a grid size. Hi, Nayplay. Nayplay. Excuse me how I pronounce your name. How you doing, Mustafa? Okay, so now we're going to have to grab all of the mesh, fall off nodes, start with number 1. This is really quite annoying, but I should have known better in the first place. I need the city to be it's going to kind of work. It's actually going to be quicker to delete those ones. attribute random clone, move that over here, Shift W there, rewind, Shift W there, play it. Okay. Okay, and then clone another one, and that's coming about 75. Start around frame 10, so we've got, and what I will be doing is drawing on this bridge. Let's just finish off the city first. What's the time? I've got to shoot off in about 25 minutes. Let's see if we can make some headway on this. So city, distribute, random, clone. Bring this one over here. I'm gonna make like a little valley. Just do that. 75. Shift W. Frame 10. Put it back. So it all comes together. And these guys at the back, I need you to be higher. Get my camera placed about there. Camera. Right. Just keyframe that camera. Cool. That'll do for now. Right, let's get to drawing on this. Hello, Emotions Workshop. How you doing today, mate? Right, we want to draw on all of these bricks, as it were. I'm just going to close up the gaps. by the distribution of it. Let's just, actually no, let's just increase the size of our cube. I'll have to go into some numbers. What do we got? 0.018, 0.100, 0.90. 0.100. Let's do that. I think that's good. Right, into the random node. Into the random node. No, into what are we doing? What are we doing? So that's, let's rename this bridge. Save this scene. And then let's go with an offset node. Add an offset node, and we're going to go -1 in the scale. -1. So it's disappeared, which is what we want. And we want to create a fall off object. I'm going to go create. So now we can see what's going to happen. You see wherever this fall off moves, it builds the bridge on. It looks pretty sweet, but we need to change the shape of this fall off node. Just go into the actual fall off itself, turn it into a cube, and then we're going to scale it up. So you can also create like disintegration effects like this if you want to. I don't know, like those movies where, I don't know, swarms of alien bugs are like attacking signposts and all that sort of thing, and then they're like disintegrating and attacking cars and they're disintegrating. You can do that via this method. Kind of. I wouldn't advise it in a movie production environment, but I think I might use 2 fall offs. So I'm going to use one for drawing it on, the one that's facing in the X direction, and another one for the Z direction. So it doesn't really matter that the other one's showing at the moment, because I'm going to be getting rid of that with another fall off object. So let's increase this size. Bring that to there. So the city builds on where? So the city's building about now, and we want to keep the momentum going with the animations. So probably about frame 60 is where I want to start my animation for this fall off object. So we'll keyframe it there. Maybe we'll come through all 100 frames. I'm going to drag it all the way this way. Keyframe it there. So when we rewind and play, right, well, we need to play around with the fall off, because it's not doing what I wanted to do. Then I just click then, god damn it. Oh, just move my camera. Doesn't matter, it's animated. Oh no, cool, we're in perspective. Oh, get it out of my mind. So the off shit the offset shape, we want to get that offset tighter, the inner zone. Okay, so the beginning of that is way too far off. Shift W, play, and it should start to draw on. So to add to that effect, rather than it just doing that, which is kind of cool in itself, what we're going to do with the bridge and under the volume settings and distribute is change it to fill and shell, so that we get volume happening on the inside of it as well. So we've got like a thick thing going on. And at the same time, we're going to add some randomness to it. So going to the bridge, we're going to add a random node, which is going to make the whole thing random. But if you bear with me, we'll show you that we can use the fall off shape. So that random node hasn't shown up, which is annoying. Doesn't show up in here, needs refreshing, but it should be up here. Bridge random, and so we want to connect our offset from here, and there we go. We're getting the random only happening where the offset is that we used for drawing on the bridge. So it comes on like particles, and then of course we can play with all the different random values, which is pretty cool. So this is like how that movie Pixels was made, where everything gets built by all these blocks. And we can of course make them bigger as they come on, but that might look weird. That'll look okay. And we just go perspective, camera 1, and just rewind for a second. Play that. Things are slowing down. Here it comes. Here comes the bridge. Right, about 5 minutes guys, I've got to switch off the stream, but I will be back on tomorrow for a much longer period of time. It's my first day of sort of streaming while I'm working, but I do have to go out, so we'll continue this tomorrow. Right, so that distribution I've got to sort out on there. What? It's my doorbell. And my dog. Yeah, Pixel was terrible, David. Dog, down. Oh God. Do you want to say hello to YouTube, dog? That is my dog. Good boy. Right, down. Down. Good boy. Right, what's going on here? It didn't end, but it's going to end in about 5 minutes. I've got to switch off, and then. But tomorrow, I'm going to try and live stream every day while I'm working. Just for giggles, really. And if anyone's got any questions. Right, let's just bring this. Oh, do you know what? I'm just going to switch off the fill and show only for a minute. Just slowing things down. So just bring that in. Cool, that's good. And then we're going to create another offset node on the random, no, on the offset. Do I clone that? No, let's just create a new one. And this one I want to be invisible for this side. And let's make that a cube. And let's reduce the inner zone. Sorry, I meant inner zone bigger. Let's make this bigger. Alright, so when this gets to the end, let's rewind that. So when this gets to about there, with the new fall off, I'm going to go Shift W and then over about, I don't know, 40 frames, we're going to go over that way to finish it off. Shift W, bosh bosh bosh. Pull this camera back a bit, see what's going on. And then obviously we need the randomization on that as well, but not too bothered about that at the moment. So much like those cookery programs that you used to watch, where they say here's one I made earlier, I've actually got a little treat for you. Okay, hang on, just loading up the video. So if you turn your sound up for this one, you'll see what it's been looking like. Kaboom. So there you go. All this was made with Mash. It's a project that I have actually finished, but I'm a bit quiet at the moment, so I'm just going back over it. I just thought today it was worth doing some live stuff just to see how it rolls. But that is how your stuff can look. Looks alright. Client likes it. Tomorrow I think I'll be doing some new stuff. Anyway, chaps, thanks for all 6 of you for watching. I'll be live streaming again tomorrow. Again, if anyone's watching this later on, have a think about some questions you might have tomorrow about certain things inside Maya, and you can just chat during the day. I might be able to help you, I might not. But yeah, we could just chat. It's a nice way for me to work, to be honest. I work on my own, so I can just work, have you guys around, whatever. Alright, peace out people. I will see you soon.